Welcome to our weekly reading where we explore all things astrological. From our two different points of view in two different locations in the world, we bring to you a unique astrological perspective on what is happening right now across the globe. So here we go. Hi everyone, this is Diana in LA and Cary in the UK with this week's stars. We're here at the beginning of a very intense week, ending and culminating this Monday with the winter solstice and a massive galaxy of conjunctions and exact squares. So we have so much poignant energy as we come into the winter solstice at the end of the week, which we're going to talk more about because it's so important and so powerful for how this year ends and how we move into the next year. So there's so much action going on, and I imagine that you are really feeling it. So Cary, what are you feeling and noticing on your side of the world?
I think we're heading for a very interesting and entertaining time in the next few days, culminating, as Diana said, with regards to the winter solstice. But what leads up to that are some amazing aspects. So we've got this week where Saturn has gone into Aquarius and it's waiting for Jupiter to catch up. And we start to really feel this on Thursday. And we're filming this today on Thursday, which is unusual. And the moon is conjunct Saturn. So it's an important start to a very important next few days, astrologically, culminating in this winter solstice. I think it's going to be a week of surprising revelations, bit of restriction. For example, in the UK, they were talking about Christmas, that it would be okay for a few days for everyone to get together. And as Mars starts to square Pluto, that necessarily is not going to be the case. They now say we have to have little gatherings, not hug your parents, not hug your family. The government's beginning to change their tune because of what's happening throughout the country. And this is the Mars square Pluto, and Pluto is now squaring Mars, and on Monday, day of the winter solstice, will be exactly squaring Mars. And on that particular day, not only is that happening, you've got Jupiter conjunct Saturn exact, which is what we've talked about, and we've got Sun conjunct Mercury in Capricorn. In fact, the Sun is conjunct Mercury on the Sunday and the Monday, so it's going to be very interesting communication coming up in the next few days. A very important week.
Because the Sun is conjunct Mercury in Sagittarius on Sunday, and the next day the Sun is conjunct Mercury at 0 degrees Capricorn. So it goes from the last sign of 29 Sag to the first degree, 0 degrees Capricorn on the solstice. How the solstice is established is when the Sun is at 0 degrees Capricorn 0. And that happens at 2:02 a.m. in Los Angeles. So from the Pacific Coast time, it's 2:02 a.m. The Sun moves into 0 degrees Capricorn with Mercury. So they're both going to be sitting there turned on, like the light switch is on. The thing that's unique to me as we're looking at these charts are all these conjunctions and the changing of signs, from Saturn being in Capricorn for all this long time since last year, now finally moving into Aquarius, followed by Jupiter, all on the winter solstice. It is such a compounding, escalating, creative day and a turning point. That's the word that comes to mind for me. It is a turning point.
It is. And I mentioned last week that when you get the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, normally it coincides with something very special happening, like an anointing of a king, or something along those lines when these planets get together. And having them coming together in Aquarius as we approach the age of Aquarius is very, very significant, together with the other aspects that are happening on that day.
Right, the new king, right? What is king anyway? What is that energy? And so many people are wondering, as we move from the age of Pisces, which is a 2,000-year period, to the age of Aquarius, which we are just beginning the most baby steps into now. What does that new awareness look like? Right? It's going to look different. It's going to be different. We're coming into a new world. And so this is those first little glimmerings that are happening right now as these powerful world-changing events have been happening all year long and will be continuing through next year too. But this day of the solstice, which is so significant because it is also the day, at least in the northern hemisphere, of the day of least light, right? And from that point on, as we move in from the December 22nd, the light begins to increase. So all year long, it's been decreasing till from summer solstice to winter solstice. The light is getting less, until winter solstice. It is the most silent night, right? And then it begins to increase again towards summer solstice. So it is a very powerful day. I've been calling it in my classes and meditations a portal.
What I find very interesting with regards to this conjunction is when you looked at Aquarius rules Uranus, and both those planets are conjunct in Aquarius and about to have a challenging aspect to Uranus. So the flavour is being set for a very unusual ending to the year and a very unusual introduction to the year. We are entering a very new next stage, and we're not sure how that's going to go.
I love that, Cary. That's a great way to say it, because as we are coming in for some more changes, and we're learning, right? The whole world is learning, and we're in the middle of a learning curve. We're not finished yet by any means. And the surprises and the interesting turn of events that will be happening through the end of this year and the beginning of next, we're going to be on an interesting ride. And I like the way that you're saying that this sort of adventure of learning. I mean, I think a lot of people sort of dread change, but change is good, right? We need these changes. We need to refresh the fields of our world.
With the square of Mars to Pluto, it makes things feel quite uneasy. So for example, I've been observing lockdown for as much as I possibly can, and I'm concerned about it. That's Mars square Pluto. I've been offered the chance to have the vaccine. That is Saturn conjunct Jupiter. However, it starts to square Uranus, which is about wanting to break free. So here's me wanting to take the vaccine so I can break free, which is a symptom of the Uranus squaring the Jupiter conjunct Saturn. But am I doing the right thing? I don't know. And that's the Mars square Pluto. So it's like a push-pull energy at the moment.
Yes, this push-pull energy is definitely symptomatic of these planetary alignments. How does it affect you is always a really good question. Where does that 0 degrees Capricorn fall in your chart, for instance? For the sun position for the winter solstice, where does 0 degrees Aquarius fall in your chart? That will give you information about the new frontier that you're stepping into, right? So the 0 degrees Capricorn is more in a sense your personal experience, like in the world. But the 0 degrees Aquarius is more about what's coming, the future. So look at your charts and see where those numbers are falling and which houses they're falling into, so that you can get a sense. And if you have any planetary aspects with 0 degrees or 29 degrees, 0 degrees like that, you will find those places very highlighted right now and maybe be feeling this a little bit more than others. I certainly am. I have a lot of 29 degrees. So I'm leaving 29 degrees going into 0, and that will make a shift for me. It's definitely going to be a new world to me after the solstice. In terms of my point of view, if I would go by astrology, I would feel like the vista has changed, right? Everyone, of course, we have to interpret to all the planets in our charts, trying to discern, what the meaning and how that will influence us. But I can see for myself, like Cary was explaining sort of his perspective, mine is very different because I'm moving from these 29-degree aspects in my own chart, moving to 0, a new frontier.
And a new frontier is a good way to explain the Jupiter conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. It is a new frontier. What's it leading to? It's leading to a possible cure for COVID. It's leading to a change in the worldwide economy. It's leading to different leadership in the United States of America. It's leading to the UK having a very different relationship with the European Union, and they still haven't come to an agreement yet, and there's very little time left for that to happen. So this is a time of going forward, but going forward where the ramifications are so huge, and they haven't been felt like this for a very long time.
Exactly. So how I would wrap this up for now is this Sunday and Monday are going to be that turning point. It starts on Sunday. I'm actually doing a solstice meditation at 8 p.m. in Los Angeles, which you can join to anchor in these energies in a little group meditation and an intention setting ritual. And you're welcome to join us there. But this Sunday, and why that day is so critical, the moon is conjunct Neptune. It's a dreamy, open, meditative state. We are entering the inner worlds, the mystery. We are going to step into the mystery this Sunday. Jupiter conjunct Saturn at all week. So there's again that end in the new sign of Aquarius on Monday. So it's making this transition. And Sun is conjunct Mercury. So it's personal. It affects us. It's affecting our thinking. It's affecting how we view the world, how we review the world, what we think about things, Sun conjunct Mercury. And that is all happening on Sunday and then on Monday again, even more intensely. So prepare for a powerful ending of this week as we start our first steps into the new year. And we've got a lot more to say about that coming soon.
Just one more thing. We've been talking about all the different aspects over the year, and they've been mainly affecting earth signs and fire signs, predominantly, the way that the configuration has been. Now it's starting to affect air signs in actually a very positive way. So if you happen to be born at the beginning of your air sign, this is the beginning of a 7-year period with a bit of magic dust thrown in as well. Having Saturn conjunct your Sun is the beginning of a 7 period. Trining your Sun is also the beginning of a 7 period. Having Jupiter there makes it expansive, makes it a fantastic time. So all you air signs, right, who are born at the beginning of your sign, you will really benefit from the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius.
Libra, Gemini, Aquarius.
That's right. And as Diana said, if you've got a planet there at 0 degrees in air, this is a spectacular time for you.
So that's it from us this week. We've got a lot more coming, a lot more to tell you, and we'll see you next week with another Astrocast from Diana in LA and Cary in the UK.
Bye everyone, stay safe.